the alarm, the flood, the water. It's so much water. Shit, like, that's going off. Look at my ceiling.
Oh.
Look at my ceiling. Look at the floor. It's dripping. Look at it. Look at it. Ah! Bro, my basement. Look at it. Look at it.
We looking. We see. I don't know if I just got triggered or overstimulated because why was the fire alarm going off? And how did this start leaking like this? Did it just open up? Oh my gosh. I have so many questions. Today, we are going to go over a lot of things that people face as being homeowners. And as you can see in this first video here, one of those things can be water damage, your roof leaking because you have a washer that is overflooded with water. And guess what? This costs a lot of money. You see all that right there? That is water damage. That can lead to mold, which can lead to a whole bunch of other issues if you don't get it fixed fast enough. Let's look at some of the comments because I know this is going to be an interesting one. Not the Taraji face. I don't know when TikTok started this whole image thing in the comments, but these comments like this have me weak. The first comment says, why us? I think you meant is the fire alarm going off, and I know everybody else is asking the same question here in the comments. Hi boo, I'm overstimulated, so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll. You gonna be okay? Well, at least she asked. But man. But on a serious note, can you understand how bad this would be as a homeowner to be up in your room and you see water pouring from the ceiling? All that you're gonna see is dollar signs. No, Rihanna. And this comment here says, call the fire department or something. No, for real. Call somebody to do a repair on that leaking ceiling ASAP. All right, this next video says, let me de-influence you, homeowner edition. Okay, new HVAC is $40,000. New water heater, $3,000. And it broke that morning. Oh my. Mice in the basement, $150 because I'm assuming she's putting down the little mice traps. It's already getting expensive and we ain't even done yet. Tree trimming, $6,000 minimum. Structural issues, okay, I don't know. Let's not think about it, she says. Oh my. New roof, repointed chimney, $17,000. Oh my gosh. And this just kind of lets you know why the person in the first clip was freaking out how she was when that water was pouring through her ceiling. Being a homeowner can get extremely expensive, especially when you have unexpected repairs. Now, we all know that life happens at the most craziest times to any of us. But as a homeowner, it's almost like you have to be prepared at any time for anything to go down because you don't have a maintenance person that you can call. You are the maintenance man. You are the maintenance woman. If you need a new water heater or your AC goes out in the middle of the summer, nobody is going to care or bat an eye if you don't get it fixed. And you have to live with all of that discomfort. And I'm not showing you all this to deter anybody from home ownership. Really, it's so you can understand how expensive things can get. Many people become homeowners and they haven't even thought about all of these things because the euphoria of buying a home, moving in, setting it up, might have them a little blinded, to be honest. Which is why I always say, if you're going to own a home or just in general, it's always good to have an emergency fund. And stop you from worrying about where the money is going to come from in the event that you have any of these things happen to you. Let's take a look at some of her comments. One thing I wanted to point out here in her caption, it says, not pictured, the 1,000 small projects like repainting the patio, fixing the broken hot spigot. Did I say that right? I'll allow y'all to eat me up in the comments if I didn't. Anyway, the water damage from the kids' bathroom, etc. Oh my. Somebody here asked, did we skip the home inspection? Y'all, pay attention. If you are going to be moving into a new build, this should be a non-negotiable. Also, do not let the realtor or the previous homeowner give you somebody that they recommend as a home inspector. Why? Because they're probably all in cahoots with each other, and the home inspector isn't going to tell you if something is really wrong with the house if you do that. Bad idea. Another comment says, $40,000 for a new HVAC system is definitely a ripoff, and that's coming from an HVAC technician. Ooh, tough crowd. Actually, that does seem a little expensive for HVAC. Another comment says, perfect. I was just crashing out about not being a homeowner by 30. Good looking out, bestie. Honestly, home ownership does come with a lot of perks, but I think for people to be able to make an informed decision on if that's something that they even want to sign up for, we have to be honest about the possibilities. And with anything in life, you have to take the good with the bad. And I hope that as you guys continue to watch this video, you're thinking to yourself, would I be okay with this if I had to do it? Because this comment here says it best. Why pay rent when you could buy a house? Well, Todd, I can afford rent. I cannot afford a random $40,000 bill on an average Tuesday morning. And honestly, I can understand that. I get it.
Do you know I had to have my septic tank maintained because I've been in the home 5 years and I'm doing all the maintenance, right? So I called a company and they said, you got a riser? Do I have what?
Right.
You got a riser on your septic tank? Sir, I do not know what that is. I don't. What's the capacity of your tank? You're asking me? Me, the woman who just thumbs up when they show me my dipstick at the oil change place? No, sir, I'm not the one. I said, you're going to have to come out here and tell me if I do or not. Plus, I don't know where my septic tank is. So, best of luck to you in doing your job. And he came out, he dug my yard up, probably a 4x5 patch of my grass, missing my beautiful grass. And he said, you know, every time we maintain this, we're going to have to dig it back up. I said, would a riser help that? Yes, ma'am. Can you put one in? Sure can. It's ugly as sin. I shouldn't even have to know what a septic tank riser is. I shouldn't have to know how to empty out my hot water heater. I want to be a kept woman who doesn't know anything about septic tanks. I don't think that's too big an ask, and hopefully by my late 30s, that'll happen. And in the meantime, I'm the one paying my friggin' mortgage.
Now, I know I'm not the only one that didn't know what a septic tank was, so we went ahead and looked on Rocket Mortgage so I can give you guys a better idea, because if you're about to buy a house, you want to know this stuff. And according to this Rocket Mortgage article, it says here, buying a house with a septic tank, pros and cons. And I love that it was fact checked. Now it says here, what is a septic tank? A septic tank gathers wastewater, waste generated by your toilet and your bathroom, your garbage disposal, and your washing machine. And these are all collected from things in your house. And it holds it underneath the yard. Yes, y'all, it is holding the waste under the yard. And it continues to say, solids remain in the tank while liquids exit into a buried drain field. But what do you need to know if you're buying a home? First, it says you want to learn your local laws. First off, if you're looking for a house, you need to know, does the house have a septic tank? Because a lot of people have issues with their septic tank, and a lot of people don't even know if it's in the front yard or the backyard, what side of the yard it's on. And this is important. And it is advised that you get the system inspected. And if you have a home with a septic tank, this is crucial information. It says here, septic tanks need to be regularly inspected and maintained to avoid problems. Inspectors can perform a sewer scope inspection as well as check pipes for integrity, proper ventilation, and drainage. I know what you're thinking. Symone, what are they looking for in my septic tank? Well, it says here, they will be looking for leaking or clogging and try to spot potential problems before they become bigger ones. Can you imagine if you had a leak in your septic tank and all the stuff that happens in your bathroom ends up in your yard because it's leaking? Y'all, it has happened to people. And if it's happened to you or somebody you know, comment down below because I know I'm not tripping. That gets real ugly. And it says here, these inspections should happen every 3 years, but a lot of people forego these inspections. Don't do it, y'all. The cost of home ownership is already high. Just think about it, y'all. Would you like to pay more because something like your septic tank was damaged? Because you didn't get an inspection done that could have prevented a lot of mayhem? And as we've been hearing in this video, a lot of things vary from price to price depending on what we're referring to when it comes to being a homeowner. But it says here, you need to know the specs of your system, like how the lady in the video didn't, which is perfectly fine because I wouldn't know either. But do you see what I see on the screen right now? To have your septic tank replaced, it costs $3,000 to $10,000 on average. And that's depending on the size of the tank and where in the home it's located. And we don't want to be reactive, we want to be proactive. So that means be careful what you put in the drain. Symone, what shouldn't I put down the drain to mess up my septic tank and have to have more costs as a homeowner that I don't want to occur? Well, I'm glad you asked. It says here, hygiene products, paint, grease, oil, hair, which can be a big one for a lot of us ladies and a lot of you men out there too, dental floss, paper towels, or cat litter. Now, y'all taking it too far. Who's putting cat litter in the garbage disposal? I hope none of y'all out there are doing that. Anyway, it says all of those things can cause clogs and prevent drainage. And this article just keeps getting juicier and juicier. For all my homeowners out there or anybody that's looking to buy a home, I thought that this was very important to note. Now, know what can go wrong. According to Rocket Mortgage, things that can go wrong with your septic tank as a homeowner if you do not maintain it are leaks, ruptured and clogged pipes, and a flooded drain field can result in a big mess. For instance, if your yard floods and there isn't enough weight in the septic tank, it can cause the tank to move or float, breaking the pipe. And again, y'all, this septic tank is in your yard. I don't want none of y'all to have no issues with that because that can be extremely expensive. That can even mess with your neighbor's yard. And I don't want to see you get sued.
This is where all of my money goes. Every time a bill comes, I just hate owning a home because who needs to pay $250 for electric?
Well, this homeowner gives buying a home a 0 out of 10 recommend. Have I ever seen a $250 bill? Yeah. And comment down below, how high is your electric bill? Because, girl, for some people that's normal. I don't know. We gotta see what the comments say.
So you know how they say house fires start from your dryer? Our dryer stopped working, so I'm taking it apart they said to clean it out, check the heating element. I am in utter disbelief on what is coming out of the bottom of our dryer. I'm gonna show you. If you don't clean out your dryer, we never have. We've had this thing for years. We have dogs, lots of girls in the house, long hair. Look at this. Like, what? Look, there's even like burnt stuff where it was like melting right here. It was like burning. Like, was this about to catch on fire?
Y'all, do y'all see all this hair? She got me ready to go clean out mine. And I'm not even gonna lie, I ain't never cleaned it out. Y'all don't get on here acting like you've done all of this work too. I didn't. What? And are we just gonna skip over the part that she said it caught on fire, something caught fire? This could have been a potential house fire because of hair, lint from the dryer. Is this even covered under homeowners insurance? Would they say that you're at fault? I actually don't know because this is a very unique situation here. Where are the firefighters at? Is this something common that y'all see? Because it gotta be common because a lot of people have hair and some of y'all don't even clean out the lint that's in the dryer. So I'm just asking for a friend, asking for the viewers, and asking for me because this might be me. I hope not though.
It's literally burnt to a crisp. So if you have dogs or girls with long hair that lose a lot of hair, this might be your sign to literally actually take apart your dryer and look at it because, yeah, I don't know if I gotta buy a new lint trap or if this is just what happens after years of never knowing you should probably clean out your dryer.
And I want to say another thing. When you become a homeowner, there is no handbook. There is, like, I promise you, nobody tells you all the stuff that you should know about owning a house. You just figure it out as you go. You look up some videos online. You try to hear what other people's experiences are. And that's why I thought this video would be very important because where's the help? Where is it at? And if you don't know many people that own houses, it's even worse. And depending on where you live, we all face different challenges as homeowners. There are people that have attics. Some people don't have an attic. Some people have basement. Y'all got different problems. Some houses got septic tank, no septic tank. Some people live in a flood zone. There's so much that you have to consider when you are looking for a house. We might have just saved some lives with this video right here. And somebody here says, never leave a dryer, dishwasher, or a bathroom vent on when you're not at home. You know what? That's a good tip. That's a good tip. The dryer could cause a fire. The dishwasher could leak. And if it leaks and you're not home, you might have water damage that could lead to mold and a lot of other issues with your flooring. And y'all got to get me up to speed on the bathroom vent, because what do you mean? The bathroom vent? Some of y'all be blowing it up right before you leave the house. I'm just being honest, because I know. And there's a comment here that says they should make it more accessible to clean. And I agree, because who's trying to move all that weight? I am not practicing for the strongman competition. And there's a lot of people in the comments complaining that this isn't very easy to clean and that they wish it was more accessible. And this comment right here really got me. We always hear about dryers causing house fires, which they do. But exhaust fans, like in your bathroom, are even more likely to cause a house fire. Never leave a dryer or an exhaust fan going while you're not home. Okay, y'all cleared it up for me. That's why they said if you blow it up, don't just leave the house and go do what you about to do. See, I learned something today. Y'all are the realest. And this is why I like to watch videos like this. Real life experience from other people can be so helpful. I don't want anybody to have to learn the hard way when there's so much information online.
I just got the keys to my new place and I'm going to bug bomb it and do a couple other like bug measures before I officially move in. Here's the bug setup. So I got some foggers and I think I'm gonna do about 4 of them. So I brought 4 little sheets to put them on top of, so that way they don't stain or spill onto the carpet or flooring. Yeah. I'm also going to be doing this white diatomaceous earth powder. I'm going to use this to squirt it in problem areas. I also have this indoor spray, like insect killer thing. Obviously, I don't know if there are bugs here, but my older sister has actually lived at this complex for the past 4 years and she's never had an issue, which is also how I know like how great this complex is and how well it's ran and all that. It should be fine, but honestly, I'm just gonna take some extra measures just in case. I'm trying to refill this because it didn't have enough. I don't know how high you're supposed to do it. Ready? Boom, boom, boom. I did a little more just to be safe. I just pulled the oven out and then I'm just gonna like basically squirt this all down there. I'm just gonna put some along this track. It also says cracks and crevices, so I'm kind of just doing it in the corners. Like definitely here by the entrance. There we go. Just did a bunch in the sliding door track right here. Now I have the spray ready. Girl, I'm literally like an exterminator or whatever. This is so fun. I'm gonna do this. Gotta hurry up and do the other ones.
Girl, you better run.
There we go.
Run for it.
1, 2, 3. Now I gotta go. Just finished. I'm going to come back in 24 hours to see if I found any bugs and clean it all up.
Now, I'm very familiar with that last process she did. Set it off and run. Now, it looks like upon further inspection, she lives in an apartment. Why am I showing you all this? It's all the same. When you move into a home, you still want to do this. You don't know what type of people were living in there, and you don't know what type of critters were living in there with them people. Better safe than sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even care if it's a new build. They leave the doors and stuff like that open when they're doing new construction all the time. They're not going to be the ones in there with the spiders, the roaches, the ants, or the wasps. I'm just being honest. And it says here at the top, upon further inspection, do either DE or foggers, not both, and make sure the DE stays dry. I'm assuming that was that powder stuff. Now, I ain't never used that before, but y'all comment down below if you have. Me and those foggers, though, we got a personal relationship. This comment right here about took me out. It says, I wish I did this. First night in my place, a brown recluse crawled on my face. Do y'all know what that looks like? That's a spider. Don't worry, I got you. Y'all, this is a brown recluse. Oh my God, like it's making my skin crawl just, I can't even look at it. Oh my. You don't want nothing like this crawling on your face. I probably would have met the Lord that day. It probably would have been it for me. No more Symone on this channel. I'm sorry. Now this next video says part 92 of figuring out the smell in my house. I'm a little scared.
I think I found the smell. Well, sort of. Let me explain. So if you've been with me on this journey, you know I have a smell in my house that has been driving me for close to a year now. I've been seeing all these little baby bugs underneath my sink. And out of curiosity, I asked the internet what it is. And then I found out it's a roach baby. And I will tell you, nothing will kick your butt into cleaning harder than a roach baby found in your home. I had full body chills the entire time I made this video. So if it appears chaotic, it's because it was. When I pulled out that dishwasher, I saw maybe 25 roaches. Even in this clip right here, there's a secret one at the top. Look for it. I immediately called a bug bug service. And I looked up on the internet and it says that roaches have a musty smell. However, our saga does not end here because let me tell you. First off, this kitchen island has like false cabinets, so they were crawling up under in there. I had to summon all of my bravery to break open this drywall and see if there was a colony of roaches living in here. The bug guy came and he put down traps and he sprayed everything, and he said that these particular roaches like moisture and that he'd be willing to bet that I have a leak somewhere. So he started to go around the house and then he saw a leak in the garage ceiling. So now I'm thinking to myself, have I been having a slow leak somewhere and I'm smelling the musty smell from mold, or is it the roaches? I don't know, but I'm at my breaking point. Next step is to cut open the ceiling here.
Do y'all see this right here? That's a water spot. Now, if you or anybody you know has that little spot on their ceiling, you might have a leak and you might want to get that taken care of ASAP. The roaches is making my skin crawl watching this. However, this is so informative because I did not know that your house could have a musty smell because of roaches. A roast infestation smells musty? I hope she's able to get rid of all these roaches, but this is a very interesting way to find out that you possibly even have it. Another tip I want to give you guys, if you are concerned that you have some sort of infestation, move back the oven, pull it out. I believe she did that here in this video, or she did it with the dishwasher because the leak is coming from somewhere, probably bringing in the roaches. You want to move those ovens, those dishwashers, any large appliances back. If you start seeing stuff scattered, that's how you know right there. And there's no shame. The reason why you want to do stuff like this is to address the issue. It is better to know that you have an infestation and try to get rid of it than to put your head in the sand as a homeowner and let it get worse. They will take over your house. Oh, I'm getting itchy. I also would think that the leak would cause some sort of smell too, but I'm not sure. At least she can see the leak.
This is Callie. This is Callie's house. It is infested with garter snakes. This morning, she was greeted by a 2-foot snake in her kitchen. Callie's husband, Chase, was able to remove the snake, but that was the 8th snake this week. Oh, but wait, there's more. Chase found a den of snakes underneath the entryway to the house. Callie is currently crashing out. She feels as though her home has become a real-life setting for Fear Factor. Because she lives in the middle of nowhere in Montana, there are no exterminators to help rid the home of snakes, leaving Callie and Chase to their own devices. Armed with a grabber, spray foam and sticky traps, they will attempt to defend their home. Since Chase is a ranch hand, and this house is part of his pay package, the only option is to stay. But perhaps if you follow along, you could change that reality.
Breathe! And I would have been doing a follow-up video. My name is Callie, and that house is getting sold. I don't care. What job did my husband have? He couldn't have been making that much money now that I think about it. Because snakes, and you can't call anybody to come get rid of them? No. No. I'd have been like, kids, it was good while it lasted. We're moving back to the city. Because what? And this is exactly what I was talking about, y'all, when I was saying we all live in different cities, so we face different things. Snakes, and no possibility of somebody coming to handle it because you live so far out in the middle of nowhere, nobody is there. This shines the light on people who live in those rural communities, in the middle of nowhere, where it's like an hour grocery store drive. They got a whole nother set of problems. Somebody here in the comments said, Callie needs to adopt about 5 cats. Well, I agree with that. The next comment says, the fact that everyone is more concerned about the snake's well-being than her literal children is insane. An infestation has to be stopped. And I have nothing against the snakes, by the way. But who was more worried about the snakes than the children? Because, come again? Another comment says, Callie, I'm crashing out for you currently. Godspeed, sister. Godspeed. Exactly. And another one says, correction. This was Callie's house. And I agree and endorse this message.
If there is one thing that I've learned about home ownership is I don't understand how people live above their means. We've had our home for 2 years. Our AC just broke. Our house got struck by lightning and the entire electrical on the left side of our house blew. The washer broke. The dryer broke. Everything has broken in our home. And thank God, me and my husband we bought within our means. Our cars are within our means. And we budget. I can't stress enough Pay yourself first always. Always put something into savings. And when you're going to buy a home, make sure you have more than just the down payment. Within your first year, things are going to break. Things are going to need to be upgraded. Just make sure you're prepared, because it's in the middle of the summer. We're about to have 90-degree days for the next 3 months. If me and my husband didn't financially prepare for potential things to break, we would have been...
Yeah. And she's absolutely right. And a lot of people don't find out until they move in the home the hard way. You go to work thinking everything's fine. You come back, 99 degrees. What the heck? You're thinking to yourself, I haven't even lived here a year. I did everything right. I got the home inspection, made sure everything was fine. Sometime a garden snake just wants to get in the fan. And now the fan in your AC ain't moving, circulating the air. That can happen, It can just go out for no reason. And we're not going to skip over the fact she said her house got struck by lightning. I want to ask her, is you one of my neighbors? Because that happened to somebody up the street from my house. And it looks like their house caught on fire. Can you imagine not having homeowners insurance if something like that were to happen? And if you live in an HOA, then you have rules and regulations, and your home has to be upkept and all these different things, right? You probably got a time limit on how fast you can get things like that repaired. Or hopefully you don't live in one so you don't have to deal with those fees, because that's a whole nother set of problems that a lot of people have and don't consider when they're trying to be a homeowner. Sometimes your HOA fees go up. Yeah, your HOA fees might be $500 quarterly. Right now, could go up to $1,000. These are just things I want y'all to think about. This is not to scare anybody. I'm just sure that a lot of homeowners hadn't had these sort of conversations before in regards to expenses and repairs. I really just want everybody to make the most educated decision as possible when it comes to getting a home. And I want to see her comments. The top comment says, "Girl, the amount I spend fixing things is insane. And why is it always like $5K to fix anything?" And the creator was like, no, literally. $2 to $5K minimum, and it's unreal. Now, I want all the homeowners down below to comment, how much have you put into fixing things in your house? Because if y'all are honest with the people watching this video, looking in the comment section, they'll know that these folks ain't lying. And also, it would be very helpful if you say, what is the thing that has cost the most in your house to get fixed? The comment section should be interesting. And this comment here might be very helpful as well. It says here, also, a home warranty is worth it. I don't care what anybody says. Got a new washer, dryer, and fridge with it. You know what? I'm not even mad at that. And we're going to talk about this one right here. Oh my gosh, I totally agree. Do not, I repeat, do not buy a home at the price mortgage company says you can. Look at the monthly mortgage and make sure you can afford life. This actually might need to be a whole separate video. So many people, when they sit down with the lender, when they're looking to get a new home, are going over things like the possible taxes, escrow, monthly mortgage payment, all of that stuff, right? Insurance. And they might barely be qualifying for that house. Do you think that the bank or the lender is like, yeah, this person right here might have an escrow shortage in the next year. We probably shouldn't let them get this house. No, they don't care. It's already hard enough for a lot of people to qualify for a home loan in the first place. But if you start tacking on more expenses after you have been qualified for that mortgage loan and you move into that house, lifestyle creep can get real ugly for you fast because you own a house. What if you go out and get a car? Or a truck, because trucks get expensive. And what if you get a high APR? It doesn't even matter if you get a high APR or not. What if you get a truck note that is $600 a month and you have a mortgage? Oh, and by the way, you could lose your job. You might be laid off. You might end up having a situation like a lot of people are going through right now, being furloughed, facing unemployment. There's so many things that can happen. You can get sick. What if you are reliant on your spouse for income if that is the case? What if something happens to them? There is so much nuance when it comes to home ownership, but we got to be honest. People go through life and things change, and that can affect if you actually can afford that mortgage. This is why a lot of people's homes get foreclosed on. So I would challenge anybody looking to get a home, or if you are in a home, ask yourself, is this sustainable until the end of my mortgage, which is 30 years? A lot of people can't think past next week. So we'll just take that out. So just think about even in the next 10 years. Will you be okay to pay your mortgage if you were to face a bump in the road? If you want to be a homeowner, you got to consider the other expenses that come along with it. You just can't consider the mortgage.
What do you do when you don't know what to do? You cry, you start freaking. Look, this is oil. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm out of buckets. Oh my ruined.
What is that?
I never put the Christmas decorations away, and my basement is an absolute disaster. And if there was a time for this not to happen, it'd be like right now. Oh my god.
How did this even happen? I need to go to the comments, because what is that? She said, I came home to this from the grocery store because I forgot my card. The oil delivery guy greeted me in my driveway telling me something was wrong with my pipes, and I had to check my tank. It's a whole essay. This is what I found when I got downstairs. I don't know what happened, but it says the guy that came said it was 100% their fault. Where's Judge Judy? Because what is that even? It says here in the comments, this is an environmental cleanup. This happened to a friend and everything needed to be replaced. Clothes, bedding, etc. Call 911 and then get a lawyer. You'll need to leave the home for now. Oh my gosh. And I don't know much, but that looks dangerous. And of course, the top comment here says, and another reason I don't want to own a home, because what even is that? Exactly, that's what I was saying. What is that even? Somebody said it's heating oil. How do you not know what it is? How will we know that's heating oil? I ain't never seen that in my life. Well, at least in that last one, it looks like she would get reimbursed because that wasn't on her.
Do you know the one thing they don't tell you when you're a first-time home buyer, when you're buying a house?
What?
No one tells you this, but I'm gonna tell you because I am your friend. But you know the one thing they don't tell you? They don't tell you that there's always something wrong with the house. It doesn't matter how pretty, how new the house looks. It doesn't matter what the report looks like. The minute you buy the house, it seems like every other week, there's always something wrong with the house. There's a leak here, this breaks, that needs changing, this needs fixing, this needs maintenance. And I think right now I'm facing probably my biggest issue with the house. Look at that.
Water
Look at that
spot.
there. That stain was not there when I bought this house. It hasn't even rained. That's a water stain. I know that much. And it has not rained, so I don't even know how the heck, where's the water coming from? I didn't even know there was any pipings going through the roof. And I told my wife when we bought this house, do you really want to buy a 2-story home? I can't get up there, so I can't see what's the problem. So now I gotta call a plumber, which I don't even know if that's a thing because I don't know what type of plumbing will go on the roof. Now I gotta call the roof guy to see if there's a leak in the roof. I gotta call somebody to come fix that so there's no mold. I'm starting to think buying a house is...
You know what? People do tell people that stuff be breaking when you become a first-time home buyer. I was told that. I watched enough TikTok videos to know. You gotta keep some emergency money if you own a house. It can wipe you out. Do you know how much debt you can end up in if you don't have any money set aside for things like this? If you're a homeowner, where do y'all think it's gonna go? It's gonna go either on a loan or a credit card. Things like this just can't be ignored because that spot would just get bigger and bigger, and whatever is the issue could end up spreading throughout the whole house.
This episode of the never-ending that comes with owning an old house. I got a new whole house water filtration system I was going to install, so I came down here into the basement and discovered this here. The electrical box is leaking. And when I say it's leaking, it itself is leaking. It's not dripping down from up there. Everything up there is dry. There is water coming out of the fuse box. I'm no electrician or plumber, but I have a hunch, and that hunch is that this shouldn't be doing that. I got the cover off, and it's very wet in here, in the place where all of the electricity is. And it sort of appears that it is leaking rainwater in from where it comes in from the outside. And since it's currently raining outside, I suppose now is the time to go outside and see if I can find where it's leaking rainwater in from the outside somehow, which means that I am gonna get wet. Well, I'd say there's your problem right there. Of course, I can't sell it when it's wet, because now I need to figure out a way to make it stop raining in my fuse box temporarily so the house doesn't burn down. An old rag and a plastic bag will do the trick. Professional. Even repaired it with stuff from Menards. Buy an old house. It's fun.
The laughing cry, relatable. Look, if you get a new house, so many people have complaints about how the newer houses are being built with bottom of the barrel material, and then you have the older houses, then you just have things like this that'll happen, like leaks. But generally, a lot of people say that they prefer a older house over the newer construction builds in 2025. But I want y'all to tell me down below, which one would you prefer? Or do you prefer none and you say, hey, I'm trying to rent, forget all this home ownership stuff.
Common thing that we see quite often at the garage entrances is this gap between the driveway and the concrete. That nice big gap that runs right along there is a nice place for water to get in there, and you can see that is actually happening right now.
Oh.
When water gets in there, it gets down and underneath the foundation. I'm into this garage. You can see this crack right here, the whole garage floor sloping down to this crack, and you can see how much settlement has been in this concrete slab foundation. What you're looking at right there is caused by moisture creating unstable soil under this slab. Now, to give you an idea of how much this is sagged, give you a different vantage point. Now, this is an expensive repair. This is probably anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 worth of damage. Could have been solved with a $12 tube of polyurethane caulking or any other type of concrete sealant.
And that's crazy. $12 of preventative maintenance now could possibly be costing this homeowner anywhere between $10,000. Videos like this are so helpful because we want to be proactive, not reactive, the best we can, right? Nobody knows everything, but I've seen people with that gap in between their driveway and the garage. I've seen that. So for $12, like, y'all better make something happen, because what? And he was the home inspector, interestingly enough, but it says here in the comments, if you don't tell water where to go, it will take the most expensive route. Ooh, and that seems so true in this situation. Somebody else said, professional caulker here for 20 plus years. You're 100% correct. Go to Home Depot and get a few tubes of Sika's self-leveling caulk if they can't afford to have a pro do it for them. And you know what? I love free game.
Let me de-influence you from buying a house. Our AC just broke during a heat wave. So I bought my first home last year for me and my family, and it went viral. But going viral doesn't pay the bills. Our AC unit just broke, and it's perfect timing because it's a heat wave this week. So I filed a claim through my home warranty because that's what I pay for. And if you scroll back through my home ownership playlist, I talked a little bit about the difference between a home warranty and homeowner's insurance. But here's the dilemma. I found a separate contractor that can come and look at it and said that they can fix it literally today. But I would have to pay out of pocket. So now I have to decide, do I wait for the home warranty, which they can look at it in a few days, but when they get here, there's no telling how long it's going to take for them to process the claim, when can they do the work, etc., etc. And it's summertime, so I know that they are backed up with claims. And again, it is an extreme heat warning this week. Or do I go with the contractor who can fix it right away, but it's gonna cost me my real money? And of course, it is not cheap. If this was like a dishwasher or something that was like non-essential, this would not even be a question. But I don't want us to be uncomfortable, and I don't want us to pass out. So if you have suggestions, or even if there's some like loopholes or tips or hacks that I am missing, or any gotcha things that can happen with this warranty, please let me know, because I've never done this before. So yeah, renting doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Again, it comes with the pros and the cons when you're a homeowner versus renting. But let's go to the comments to see what other people think about this one. She says, home ownership is not for the weak. And this is what people said they would do in this situation. Mini splits in every room, most cost effective and better results, in my opinion. It's a good option, actually. Another commenter says, call the warranty. Book a hotel, enjoy their free AC and pool. When life gives you limits, time to make some iced tea. Another one says, honestly, I would just purchase a couple of portable / window ACs in the meantime. And that's also a good choice. And I've even seen people do that. But one thing I did notice is that if you do get those wall units, a lot of the time the water starts to drip onto the roof, the outside of the window, and sometimes it starts messing with the window sill, or if it's on a second floor, sometimes it starts dripping into your roof and building up moisture over time. So you got to be real careful with that sort of stuff.
Owning a home is a scam, and they don't tell you about it. They all just say to own a home, buy some property, get some real estate, but they don't tell you that everything is going to break, and then you're gonna have to replace your roof that costs $20,000, and then your AC won't work in the middle of a heat wave in New York when it's 95 degrees and it's 85 degrees inside of your house. And then you'll have to cook in the heat, and you have to cook for yourself every single day for the rest of your life, and you'll never get to enjoy it because you're constantly doing a project or renovating something unless you buy a new brand new house. But then all the new brand new houses are a scam anyway, because All of them are builder grade and they don't fix them up nicely, and all of the old homes, everything will break. The previous homeowner never did anything. You have a AC unit in a window that is now recalled because everything will always go wrong and you'll never be able to fully enjoy it because you're always fixing everything. Who said that? Who said that?
I feel like she just read this whole video for filth and didn't skip a beat. She literally named everything that we've been talking about here. And ironically, we were just talking about the AC unit in the windowsill. She even caught that. The only thing she didn't mention was the fact that a lot of people face escrow shortages because their property taxes went up or their homeowner's insurance went up. And now every month they have to pay more than they were expecting to pay to the mortgage company because they had a shortage. Honestly, she was really spot on. Yeah, she was kind of on it.
Don't buy a house. Don't do it. Don't buy a house. Rent for as long as you can. Let things be somebody else's problem. We found these tiny little bugs in our guest bathroom, which we don't really use, and we were afraid they were bed bugs. They looked like bed bugs. They're not, thankfully. They are called bat bugs. And
what's a bat bug?
Why did I not think that was going to be so much worse than bed bugs? I don't know. So we had Terminex come out to give us an estimate on doing a treatment in the guest bathroom to get rid of the bat bugs. They'd go up into the attic to see if they were truly coming from the vents. And turns out we have bats. You heard me right. Bats. We have 7 or 8 mice bats, mouse bats, whatever they are, living up in our attic.
What? Girl.
Aren't they so cute?
No!
So the lovely Terminex guy comes out to give us the estimate. And did you know that bats are federally protected species? And so you can't just exterminate them? You have to wait like 2 days and then you can do something about it. I don't really know. But in order to get rid of the bats, get rid of the bat bugs, and those things aren't even the problem. This is the problem. This is bat poop. Guano. This is extremely toxic. This is the highest concentration. Luckily, it's in a small enough spot. But still, so to fix this, they have to take all the insulation out of the attic. They have to sanitize the entire attic after they get rid of the bats, which again, they can't touch for 2 days if the bats don't leave on their own. So this is like a 2 to 4 day long process. So after they sanitize, they have to fix any entry points that the bats would have gotten in through. And then they have to put new insulation into the attic. And we got the estimate for this, $10,000 or $10,112 to be exact. Yeah, so don't buy a house. Don't buy a house. Don't do it.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say, look, again, you win some and you lose some. Because, look, if her house didn't have the bats, sounds like she's having an okay experience. But things like this are why a lot of people are like, it's a scam. Like, I got scammed. It's like, none of us know what we're going to get when we own a house. You know, it's kind of like opening a present. Sometime the previous homeowner really took care of the property. Sometime they were absolute trash. Sometime you end up with an infestation that nobody could have seen coming. It's just natural causes. They just chose your house. And now you got to call the exterminator and call all these people, pest control. Now you're getting hit with a high bill. And that really is sucky. But this is why I stress. You guys need to have an emergency fund, especially if you're a homeowner. Oh my gosh. Because can you imagine these flying, blood-sucking rats in your attic? And now you gotta pay $10,000? $10,000? Y'all are about to be evicted. Anything and everything in that attic is evicted. You got to go. Because why do I gotta wait 2 days and pay $10,000? That's crazy. I didn't even know bats end up in people's houses. This is a new one. Don't you have a cave to be in or something like that?
I love being a homeowner. It's one of the most rewarding things that you could do for yourself and build a family with. But come with that, my house is built in the 1970s. So it's a little bit older, and come with that is that gotta break, gotta need replaced. So you gotta need to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're also a homeowner, you know what I'm talking about, because they ain't cheap.
No.
We just recently have to redo our whole entire driveway. I have asphalt before. It looked like cracking. I got weeds coming out of it. So I spent $9,000 and replaced it. I added a little bit over there too for extra parking space. It looks so much better, but what come with that is expensive. Not everybody have $9,000. I definitely got to save up for it. But that's just part of being a homeowner.
And you know what? He was absolutely right. It is part of being a homeowner, but I also wanted to say, and I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, Symone, that's expensive. $9,000 for that, sir? I think you got a good deal. I don't know the numbers. I'm not in that line of work, but I seen a lot of concrete and it looked good. And if you're in that line of work, let me know in my off. That looked like a lot. He looked like he got a steal. He probably got the best driveway on the block too.
Y'all, I was crying so hard yesterday because when I tell you life is lifing, I had to leave work early yesterday. My daughter called me and said the basement was flooded. It was a hole in my water line from the refrigerator that makes the ice. How it got a hole in it, but it was pouring all over the basement, all over the laundry room. And the laundry room has carpet in it, the only place that has like carpet that I didn't take up. So you know that is gonna be funky. When I say I was crying, I was so overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, like it's always something. I told y'all, I've been having plumbing problems since when I got back from Jamaica. My daughter was like, the toilet was backing up into the tub. I got that fixed. It put a hole in my living room. I have sewage backing up in the back of the house. Now the water line to the refrigerator. I said, how much more can I take? Like, how much more? What else is going to fall apart in this house? Like, I really was like really praying. Like, I swear I must be close to my destiny. I really must be close to my overflow, because here comes trouble. Here comes problems. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just keep praying and praying that things is going to get better. But when I tell you, like, I'm like, somebody else is going through much worse. Somebody else, this is nothing to them. This is nothing to know. But I'm like, how much more can I take?
Yeah.
Like, how much more can I take? I'm still grieving the loss of my mother, who passed away in April. I'm trying to like find my happy. But when I tell you life is lifing and all I could do is just pray about it, I'm like, God must really be testing my faith. Because I cried about it. Then I said, wipe your tears and get the over it and go down there and clean up that basement and figure out how you want to pay for it.
And you know what? She had a lot of, unforeseen, very sad situations back to back to back with her house. And then also losing a parent at the same time. I went through something very similar, so I can feel her pain. Like, I was moving into a new house and I had just lost my daddy. It was rough. And it was a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things going wrong. And it was just like, man, right now, I don't need this. So I definitely, empathize with her whole situation. And it really hits deep when, I think a lot of people go through stuff. And then you got to worry about your stuff breaking around your house. The best thing you can try to do is keep your head up, because, these rough times don't last forever. And, I'm glad that she tried to be positive through that whole thing, because I know a lot of homeowners be like, dang, the last thing I need is for my AC to be out right now. I don't got no money. Like, a lot of people's circumstances, it just be looking bad, and it be a lot of things going on back to back to back. And if that's you, I definitely feel for you, and brighter days are definitely ahead. And I would like to know from you all,
what's the most expensive repair you've ever had to do on your house? For me, it was when my dishwasher decided to take. Actually, it was just the gasket in my dishwasher decided to give out and spewed water all over my kitchen. I didn't notice, I don't know how long it was leaking for, but underneath the subfloor was saturated with water. So what I ended up doing, it was pulling the laminate off so that I could dry the subfloor underneath. I don't know if you've ever pulled laminate off, but it's brittle and just started breaking every one I was pulling up. Lo and behold, the company that makes that laminate doesn't make that laminate anymore. So I had to buy new laminate, and if I wanted the same matching laminate anyways. Mine was when the floor got flooded in my kitchen. When that happened, I looked it up, and to have somebody do it, because I'm no flooring dude, it was gonna be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to have somebody else do it.
Ain't bad.
So I took to Home Depot and figured out how much the materials cost, and it was only $550 for the materials. So the labor cost was crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Long story short, we ended up doing it ourselves, and it only costing us $550.
Wow.
So as of right now, that's the most expensive home repair we have. It's actually not very expensive at all. But if we had somebody else do it, it was going to be. What was the most expensive home repair you ever had to get done? And you know what? Let's count
And you know what? That's a blessing, just $500, and they did it yourself. You know what? That's the best way to do it. If you can, a lot of y'all are married to Bob the Builder. Your husband likes to do stuff. He likes to put stuff up, fix stuff. You're lucky, you're blessed. Some of y'all gonna have to go to YouTube University to save some money, because how expensive a lot of these things are in your home, to have a contractor come out and do them. If you don't have the budget, if you don't have emergency money saved, that can wipe everything out or put you in a lot of debt. And I wanted to go over to the comments because he was asking, what is the most expensive home renovation that people had? And overwhelmingly, it seems like people are like, the roof. And it looks like, hey, $15K for the roof, $26,000 for the roof. Somebody had the AC and the water system. Somebody else said the sewer line ended up costing them $12,000. The roof, $9,000. Another roof, septic, oh my gosh, and we already went over that. A new roof, $72,000. Sewer line, $8,000. HVAC, $15,000. New roof, $26,000. Foundation, $15,000. Oh my gosh, I can't take it. Roof, $23,000. I think y'all get the gist. I want to know, what is the most expensive thing that has ever went out in your house that you had to repair if you own a home? And if you don't own a home, does this scare you? And I need y'all to be honest. Did I accidentally de-influence you to buy a home? I'm hoping that wasn't the case. I'm just trying to keep you all informed on the possibilities of repairs when it comes to home ownership and looking for a house in this housing market. Make sure you comment down below what has cost you the most when it comes to owning your house. And is there anything that you wish somebody would have told you before you owned a home? But we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.